Welcome back, everyone. It is time for our next matchup in the lower finals. You just saw the Ninjas pulling off the second to last step of their Cinderella story through the Vanguard League Championship playoffs. And we've got to see if the Tsunami are going to be able to bounce back. Rojas, Iceborg, and Bayoush, they suffered a stellar blow in game number 7. But they still have a chance. The Pirates, though, they've been sneaking right along, trying to see if they can get back into the mix. They were able to sweep the Drakes, take down Arc, Zap, and Icy. Now, as we look forward, going into this, in case you missed the bracket, well, here is what it looks like and looked like a moment ago. 4-3 go the Ninjas. They're waiting in the grand finals, and it's actually, I need to progress this a little bit further. Tsunami will be facing off against Pirates. Tell me about this while I fix the names here. So, do we expect Mr. P to bounce back accordingly and be able to get into this this particular match?
Honestly, I don't think you can count out Mr. P. But on top of that, you also have Godzkilla, who is a champion from last season. Can't count him out. You also got Maldy, who was the MVP of this season. So if there's a team that everyone was predicting to make it to the finals through winners, it was Pirates. Ninjas came through and just saw them go through the game 7 overtime to make it through the winners, and they beat Pirates earlier 3-1. But Pirates on the B stream, we didn't actually have anything shown on it here, just on the B stream, but it was a 3-0 on the Drakes. So the Drakes didn't even take a game today, which unfortunate, but I mean, Tsunami's gotta be tilted. I don't see how you lose a game 7 OT and lose 3 games in a row, almost getting reverse swept, and not be tilted going into this matchup. So I gotta say I'm leaning towards the Pirates taking this probably 4-1, 4-2.
On paper, they are the better performing style team, and they should be the ones that are going to be the kind of the X factor to really prove their worth. But the Tsunami are going to come in angry. They're going to have Iceborg that's going to be chasing down everything. Will it work? Won't it? You could have a full second game number 7. Nugs, we're going to bleed out all our time with you that we can today. That's pretty much what we're looking to do. So, thank you for coming to the booth. We appreciate you. Oh boy. Either way, make sure you get your predictions in. We promise not to pull the trigger too early, Esper, for this one and be able to get some momentum that maybe didn't exist in the first place. Rojas and the Tsunami, the good news about playing all the way through game number 7 is that the Pirates had to wait. They played 3 games, they got their sweep, they got business done, but unless they've been staying warm, they have been seeing Tsunami play it at a next level, but they've also been seeing a lot of the weaknesses that Tsunami's been putting on the screen.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see how this kind of works out, because you usually have that lower final or lower bracket run. That's just kind of how it happens. Getting to play games back to back to back is way easier than playing and stopping. As long as Tsunami's mentality is fine going into this, they'll be all right and they can stay in the series, but they gotta fix the small mistakes over and over again. And they already have one changeup from Bayoush going to jumper now.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna be. They're going back to what they had working before. Figured to try it all over again. Jumper. Got a little bit of a fan base in the chat, and they're going to get to see him play a little bit longer. And of course, Rojas trying to be the big man on campus, almost making the angle. That's a very hard cut shot, and he had to be able to just slightly turn it around that post. Post said nothing.
Yeah, and if there's anyone in this lobby that I expect to make that consistently, it is Rojas. He already has today. It's just he's just so consistent with his touches, and just usually takes the right touch, which is very instrumental for the Tsunami squad. He just kind of needs someone to do that little bit of finishing or keeping the possession up or something, because he's very good at getting the correct touch or the correct clear when needed.
Mr. P, I'm seeing him be a little bit speedier. That is always good to see. A speedy Mr. P is better than a non-speedy one. He was a little bit slow to a couple of attacks, and I think that's something that they definitely want to be able to clean up, because he sees opportunity just in front of him. He's got the vision. It's about It's about the follow through. Great little takeaway. He's gonna try and put it over Jumper's head, create an awkward situation. He's gonna kill Jumper. Maldy got there maybe just a half step too soon. Still the attack turns into a goal. I don't know if Godzkilla would have had this one on, like, it definitely seemed on target.
That was very savable. That was very savable. Yeah, it was on target, but Jumper didn't turn air roll his car before he flipped on that, which obviously it's a bang bang type of play, but needed to air roll just a little bit and then flip, and he would have had that save. Just unfortunate, but that rotation's got to be back faster where you shouldn't even be putting yourself there. Maldy with the double touch.
Oh man, and you guys have been talking about him. We've all been talking about Maldy. Pretty sure highest level MVP performances for the majority of the season. He's been a huge reason why, even pre-P, why the Pirates were already pretty good.
Yeah, pre-P. I'm gonna start using that more.
Yeah. Anytime
for unrelated things.
Yeah, anytime I'm in the office before I have to take a break, it's always pre-P.
Yeah.
And then
you gotta start warming it up as you're going down.
Godzkilla. And it's been a lot of the Pirates, a lot of P's moving downfield. Just keeping this pressure on. Pirates with P and pressure. 3 P's.
Yeah, I gotta really test out my pop filter right now. And just, you know, watching the Pirates play Rocket League and Mr. P going in. I mean, we got a real P-based game.
Anytime you get the Pirates moving, oh! That pressure, that poignancy, that prominence, that probability that they could promptly perform. Too much P.
Oh, please.
We're dorks. This is great. Godzkilla missing a would-be attack, trying for the counter. Iceberg trying to lay one up to Jumper. Jumper, though, is going to stay a little bit behind. And one thing that did catch Mr. P off guard in his previous series, which dropped them to the lower side bracket, is how many times he would be challenged with overhead shots and behind the back shots while he was on defense.
Yeah, and something, I don't know. I think the biggest takeaway from both these teams is I feel like the Pirates work so well with each other, but with the Tsunami side, they're just faster. I feel like they're probably the more faster teams in Vanguard. Not saying the Pirates are slow by any means. I just feel like Tsunami's faster on. They're wanting to turn and ball chase a lot more, but this Pirate squad will use each other to get past defenders. And I mean, I feel like that's more of a reliable play style than Tsunami, just hoping you beat the man in front of you constantly, not really looking where everyone else is at.
If you would say that Tsunami is the more faster, are they not the most fastest?
Possibly.
Possibly. Shot coming on. It's going to be denied by Mr. P. Maldy with a little bit of a clear, and it only took 2 goals. Pirates efficient, perform, and able to take game number 1. The marathon of the game 7s may come about, but it's going to be dictated by the performance and play by the Pirates.
There's no avoiding it.
Zero.
No, I mean, like I said, having to come into this game, Jumper 1 is probably cold. Iceberg and Rojas, I don't know. I can't speak on their mental fortitude for, you know, having to play a game 7 and then losing like that, losing the 3 in the row to have to now play this. And Pirates are on the come up because they lost their game 1 and like, ah, shoot, okay, you know, rough start to the day, bounced back, got a sweep, came in here, and now they're ready. Just mentality side, Pirates are feeling great, and Tsunami's got to be at a low. So I'm really looking at this. I feel like this game 2 is really necessary for Tsunami. They need to get that confidence booster. They need to get something going because they didn't even get a goal that game.
They did not get one, and it's been a while since they've been able to get one because I'm pretty sure they were scoreless in their previous game. In the one that ended up, yeah. They actually went OT. Yeah, they did. Yeah. By the skin of their teeth, being able to tie it up, and then of course the Ninjas having to fight back in a big way. So that's gonna be a game 7 that I'm gonna go and look back at quite a few different times. We're going on game number 2, and we gotta alleviate that pressure just a little bit sooner because the Pirates kept the Tsunami locked down, and we know that they know how to connect. Now, what do you think about the idea? They did bring in Jumper, and he may be a bit cold, but Well, okay, first off, let's talk about Rojas being able to control things in the first 7 seconds. This is the kind of thing they have to do at kickoffs, but you can't give Rojas this much time if you're the Pirates.
Yeah, and honestly, I understand them not being ready for that read. Maldy was pushing out because he was like, I got it. And I mean, that read by Rojas was insane. Trying to, not only did it come off the corner, it also bounced off the ground. You also, like, he pretty much came out of his own corner with that. And to get that angle and fast enough where they couldn't even react, that's impressive mechanics by Rojas right there. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think Tsunami's just gotta. I think Rojas has just gotta kind of turn his brain off for a little bit and maybe just be like, all right, I'm going. I'm good. I believe I'm good, and I'm going. Unless he starts hitting posts.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with turning your brain off and going upfield, monkeying around, and getting as many chances as you can, but definitely just aim center. Don't go left, don't go right, aim center. And one thing that I was gonna try and put into the mix of ideas, they brought in Jumper. What if they're trying to see if this is the better hand to play, and they do end up trading him out for Bayouj later on? Because it's not like they played. I can't really give a greater advantage one way or the other, Jumper or Bayouj. I do think there's maybe a little bit better with Jumper, but they may be trying both their hands, see what they can do in these early games.
Yeah, I just think after you decide to sub out a player after losing a game 7, you've committed to not playing them the rest of the day. I think that's just kind of, great read there by Iceborg and just squeezing that ball in off the post.
I mean, he'd already gotten the beat at the midfield, and he was angry that the first post denied him, so he went and fought both posts, and he at least beat up the second one.
Yeah, I mean, he said, all right, this post ain't gonna go my way. I'm making this one go my way.
Poor second post. It knows the abuse. Now from the
We'll report
backboard.
it later.
Oh yeah, we'll put it into the to admins. They'll know. Rojas hanging out underneath Godzkilla. So this has been a change of pace. Like straight up, game number 1. A lot of early pressure by the Pirates. Tsunami, they're just taking advantage of a lot of miscues on the actual rotation. We haven't been able to really talk about the Pirates being a non-factor. They get a huge clear here, and there've been a few key opportunities that have really been laid out by the Tsunami. Huge gaps, and the Pirates just a little bit slow to get up in there. And you were talking about the speed differential. Definitely is starting to play a bigger factor for the Tsunami.
Yeah, and I think Tsunami's biggest issue is obviously they got to watch the whiffs. I mean, we saw a lot of it in the Ninja series. They got to watch the whiffs, but if they start to be somewhat aware of each other and like they get their rotations decent at least, they're a very, very scary team to play. But it's just kind of a matter of fact of making sure they're able to play around each other.
Jumper. He's going to look for a little bit of a burial into this corner. Iceborg was hoping for something to stretch around it so he could get into the box. Rojas with the first man up, and they are just continuously trapping the Pirates. I haven't seen more than maybe just a few fledgling opportunities and shots now. As we are past halftime, well past halftime of game number 2. Tsunami trying to lock in a tying game win. Under 2 minutes to play, you would think 2 goals is still able to be recoverable, but it was not surmounted by the Tsunami in their previous game. Maldy has been a very, very quiet non-factor. All 3 of these Pirates have been for the most part. Rojas looking at a free net. No one there. He's going to get the double tap. I mean, I'm excited about saying it, but
he does not miss double taps.
No.
I mean, he very rarely. I think I saw someone in chat earlier even say, I think that's the first time I've seen Rojas miss a double tap.
I think that was Monster, wasn't it? I think that was Monster.
It might have been Monster or Lux. I'm not sure, but shout out both of them. But like, he's very, very consistent, and he needs to be for Tsunami. And I mean, that's just a great read there. As yes, it's an open net, but to get the double touch like he needed to there, it's also great mechanics and great consistency by him.
We've seen 0 sync and connection between the Pirates right now. It has been, of the near 4 minutes of game time, I'm pretty sure that this ball has been on the Tsunami half for all of maybe 30 seconds accumulatively, and it's been a bit of a sour take on what was a very fast break style Pirates. Maybe the surprise of just having to adjust to them in game number 1 was a little bit too much. Game number 2, they definitely seem to just be taking care of business, keeping things forward, tilting the field away from themselves, and you're seeing very wide rotations when Rojas is involved.
Yeah, and I think this squad of Tsunami with Jumper, I think the biggest thing that works well for them is that this squad, Jumper, Rojas, and Iceborg, has played the most games together. They basically got their series, all of their series wins, I believe, with Jumper. Because I think Bayou's only played 2 season games, and I think it was 2 ones that they lost.
Okay, true.
If I remember right, I could be wrong. Not to say it's all Bayou's fault. It's just they're used to playing this squad, and so I believe this might be their better squad just because they know how to play around each other. And I mean, they kind of already took the game 1 to try to figure it out and be like, oh, okay, we're playing with someone different. Got to get back in the mindset of playing the Jumper instead or whatever. And game 2 kind of clicked for them. So is it going to be like a back and forth and saying, hey, I'm going to score this game and then y'all score this game, or what? Because Pirates didn't get a goal this game now.
And Rojas, not to be denied, though, he was an onslaught. 7 shots, 2 actual goals getting out of him, and one was from a kickoff where he just straight up out-dubbed the other team in the first 7 seconds, and then a double tap where they just left the net wide open. Pirates leaving huge weaknesses, just gaping holes available for the Tsunami to score into, and that's got to be rectified by just, I don't know, you got to be able to communicate a little bit better. Yeah. We saw communications issues in their upper semifinal matchup, and they faced off against a Drake's team that maybe was going to give them some, good feels to come back. But man, I'm just not seeing that right now.
Yeah, and I guess that was Rojas's version of last season's HV buddy game, where it just kind of takes over and says, no, this game is a win, and I will take it myself. My teammates can watch. I got this one.
I mean, which is what you want someone to do. If they're coming in to be the big reason you win, or the big reason that you perform at least a little bit more successfully, that's exactly what you expect of them. Oh, does this one creep all the way back? Double tap, no. They're being denied. They bend the post. They get rid of Rojas. That should thin out this offensive. And Maldy now looking for a clear. Pirates.
And he's back.
Yeah, I mean, he's here. It's a brief vacation for him to just take a seat. Like, all right. Whew. All right, time to go score again.
Quick little water break. All right, cool. I'm ready.
Oh, big save by Mr. P. Pirates, I have not seen them offensively available in a while, and Rojas ended up missing that one. The only reason we're not 1-0 up right now is because Rojas did not will it so.
Yeah, just unfortunate. Rojas put it high like how he needed to, just a little too high in the up and down and then out. I trust me, I know how that feels.
Oh, yeah, you more than anyone, I think.
Yeah. Probably. Very unfortunate.
Jumper waiting on a little bit of reinforcement as Iceborg. What's been fun to see is that Iceborg has balanced out his attack. I mean, we know him to be a bit of a ball chaser, but I think he's actually been called off by Rojas, and he's available to it. He's totally okay with it. And as long as they're going and getting the W's, I don't think he minds who gets the scores, but it's been a very big change of play personality.
Yeah, and that's something that's very important if you're going to be a championship team, is that the ego can't be there. You got to be able to trust your team, and if someone's playing well or it's working when someone's being more aggressive or whatever, by all means you need to, being able to be flexible and do that is necessary for any championship team in any league.
Rojas gonna clean that one up. Jumper went for the trap play as Iceborg let it be a layup. This one is a chance. You hear the early leap. Iceborg going for the dive. Oh, and he's able to get another lead for the Tsunami. 4 in a row now since game 2.
Yeah, and Pirates just getting caught on their end over and over and over again, and it's kind of only a matter of time before Tsunami actually score. And I mean, honestly, I really haven't seen Pirates do a whole lot of offensive side. I mean, maybe rely more on counterattacks if this is how you're having to play, but their counterattacks haven't been that threatening either.
Oh, and the one moment that they're finally able to get upfield, and have their presence known. The Pirates with Maldy, they just cannot connect. And we may be sounding like broken records at this time. And I do the same thing whenever I watch sports. I'm like, man, why are they talking about this one QB or this one team so many different times? Well, look exactly what is going on. The opposition has not given you a reason to call out their name and call the number. Rojas, he actually didn't want to touch that ball at that point. He wanted to wait just a little bit longer before the peak of his shot was to come. Maldy trying to beat 3, and he just goes too wide of the net.
Oh, it's moments like that, you feel for Pirates because you're like, oh, why didn't that go in? Like, because they're approaching now. I think it's probably around what, 10 minutes almost. Yeah, if they don't score this game, that'd be 10 minutes straight of not scoring a goal at least.
Yeah, they have been shut down.
They've got to, like, at a certain point, that's got to get stuck in your head. Like, we can't score right now. We can't even play offense hardly.
A little bit of a smoke screen. Tsunami continuing to just dominate possession and then just dominate upfield. That's a great setup to Rojas. He's looking for another double. Oh, it goes in reverse. How many times have we just seen him unchallenged? No one's elevating to go up and play the game with him. He is playing alone. It's like, you're trying to go find people to beat. Unlike it, I'm about to age myself. N64 Star Fox, you want to go shoot the bad guy, but there's no one flying nearby.
Yeah, and I just, like I said earlier, I mean, speed difference, I didn't think it was this apparent, honestly. I just knew that was Tsunami's biggest strength, and I'm really just not seeing anything out of the Pirates. Like, get some more clears like that, but, like, make sure you have a shot come on. Like, like that. Like, that's gotta be a shot. The pass is fine or whatever, but, like, it just seems like they're playing too fast for themselves and not just taking their times and getting an offensive pressure build up or any kind of threatening shots on net.
And this is exactly what we saw in the Ninjas series to start off the day. They went up against the Ninjas and they threw on a lot of shots, but it went anywhere but the net. We have now, and if this timer comes down all the way down, 10 straight Rocket League minutes without a single goal by the Pirates. They have been shut out now, 1-0 and 3-0 in their 2 games. Gotta be able to bounce back. They have to find some way to drive home and get to center net. 3 shots, 3 to 12, quadrupled in that offensive attempt. And even though the Tsunami only got 1, that was the one they needed to win. Pirates are stuck. 8 saves to those 12. Wow.
And not to say the Pirates did have a couple of chances for them to score. And I'm not saying just like, 3 shots, they had chances to score. Like, it's not necessarily like that. There was just a couple opportunities where there's not even a shot coming on at all, let alone let it be on net or not. It's just not even, they're not even taking advantage of any of the opportunities that they are given. And they're just kind of so stuck in their own half and I guess like just being boost starved and not able to leave their own net. I mean, at what point do you start getting tilted because you haven't even been able to play offense, let alone score?
Who is the 4th man for the Pirates? I think that's starting to become my question. Because this is supposed to be the team that, on paper and playoff-wise, Playoff P, Maldy, Godzkilla, there shouldn't be these glaring weaknesses. And in fact, they should be doing more stuff like this. These are the opportunities they left on the pitch so many different times. Mr. P, very favorable bounce, double commit at the near side post, and Godzkilla will finally put it away. It only took 10 minutes and 12 seconds.
And honestly, Godzkilla didn't even have a shot last game. That was one of the stats. He did not take a shot last game.
Wow. And
so, I mean, maybe just start having Godzkilla be a little more aggressive or something. Maybe that's a big fix that they can have, but they just got to get some offensive pressure going on, and if they do, Tsunami will make mistakes. The Ninjas have showed you anything.
Yeah, this is not a perfect Tsunami. This is Tsunami at possibly their peak, which, we're going back to the P sounds. But this is not a Tsunami that has played the cleanest of Rocket League. Oh, as is apparent by that, Mr. P going to be given a goal, and this should be an easy cleanup defensive stop.
That's true. 4th is Fairy. That's who it was. I knew. Okay, thank you, Lynx.
Thank you.
That's what I couldn't remember. And Fairy's good from what I know. But I mean, like how we were saying earlier, Tsunami will make mistakes if you keep pressure and start throwing it on them. And I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to think here. It's been a very back and forth series.
Rojas at the midfield, and now you have those 2 in a row. This is having the makings of what we've seen in the prior 3 games of just trading haymakers and trading mistakes. This is a Pirates team that has fallen asleep. Too much partying for the P's. You gotta perform. Maybe we didn't have enough P's being spoken to make our puff filters stressed out. Iceberg, a little bit of a ball chase. He's gonna get a demo, unable to make to the exterior side of the ball. Rojas with a shot on. That will be a nice little dump. It'll trade possession over to Maldy. And again, Iceberg continuing to flounder on what should be easy centered cleanup shots.
Yeah, now, I mean, Tsunami is kind of getting a taste of their own medicine right now by the Pirates, and Pirates just throwing on shots, throwing on possession, and really Tsunami's not really doing a whole lot offensively for themselves.
They're just kind of throwing it downfield, seeing what might stick on the back wall. Kind of resting on their laurels. Both these teams really falling asleep. Ooh. Oh, a shot coming on from Rojas. Can't sleep on the Rojas. Rojas also trying to go for a bump onto Maldy. Unable to get that out at the very last second. Iceborg trying to round out on the top of that ball. Mr. P, big clear, nice pass over to Godzkilla, and they'll transition into yet another goal. That's 3 in a row. These teams, it's either one side scoring or the other. That's it.
Yeah, basically whoever gets the first goal wins the game.
Yeah, that's it. If
anything, through these first 4, this is game 4 now. First 4 games, it's taught me, you score the first goal, you win. That's it looks like it's going to be that kind of series.
And they're really just riding that wave. It's because as soon as that first goal is scored, that affects how they are approaching their midfield game. Shot coming on, it's off the front face. Yet again, both these teams, they over-adjust to being from behind. And you need to be able to just kind of balance your attack. They straight up go into a very passive play or inefficient, and then they just round out all of their attempts to the perimeter of the net.
Yeah, I mean, Tsunami starting to look really shaky, but I mean, are they gonna bounce back in the next game and then play like how they did? I mean, this is looking like game 1 all over again. I think game 1 was what, a 0-2, 0-3
it was,
game?
Yeah, it's been what? 0-2, 2-0, no, 0-2, 3-0, 1-0, now 3-0 in the other direction. I mean, it's been nuts. What was that?
What?
No one went, and then Iceborg with the wild miss. My goodness.
And maybe fatigue is starting to set in. I mean, keep in mind that they did just come out of a best of 7 and now coming back into another best of 7. And if they win this, they're going into another best of 7. I mean, fatigue could be a big issue for the Tsunami squad, even going forward.
That's when you got to start over communicating. You really got to be able to get in each other's heads and be like, all right, this is what we got to do. Kind of get back in and get your energy back up. Because this is the most prime version of manic depressive style play I've ever seen. It is straight up, and this is the depression on the other side. Oh my goodness. Maldy looking for the cleanup, easy stop, no man second, Iceborg.
Hey.
There we go. Finally we see both sides getting a score in the same game.
Just took us 4 games. Jeez. I mean, and honestly, Tsunami, I mean, gotta make you feel a little confident. You're not out of the game yet. You still got 43 seconds, get 2 goals. You're gonna need a kickoff goal out of one of the 2, but I mean, you still have a good chance. And if I'm Tsunami, I'm throwing everything on them right now.
Less than 30 coming up. Godzkilla with a big clear. And one thing I've not seen, which was usually the key, that cleanup score should put this out of reach as long as Pirates keep this one up. But one thing that has been, I think, the key for I guess for either squad is just who's going to make the last man miss, and Pirates taking advantage.
Yeah. And Tsunami's even giving them a goal. Jumper right there, rotated all the way wide Didn't want any of the pads, wanted the big boost in the corner. Got that, got lucky that the ball came off the backboard. Then he went up on the backboard instead of just going straight in the net or going straight in time to take the ball to the other side and just gave it an open net for Godzkilla.
Oh, big win by Mr. P. That dunk will seal it.
And that would do it.
Number 4 in the books. It's going to be tied 2-2. We work our way from a best of 7 to a best of 3. And I think one key as well, the Tsunami is going to have to get back to, even though it's something that can be easily punished. They make those half rotations and those big, like, hypercuts to make themselves speedier than their opponent, and they've not been doing that. And I don't know if they're just trying to get too safe.
Yeah, I think Tsunami right there, I mean, they're still taking, what, it was 5 to 6 shots. Like, they're still taking the shots. I mean, mostly Rojas. But, I mean, they got the offensive pressure put on them and they just crumbled and just fell apart. And so I don't know if Tsunami got a little overconfident, overtaking 2 games in a row, thinking like, we got this, is gonna be a cakewalk now, or what. But I mean, they need to keep the gas pedal pushed all the way down, especially against those pirate teams, because once they start clicking with each other, they're a tough team to stop.
So we're gonna be moving forward. Is possibly going to be one in the next 2 games. We will see how that one eventually plays out. It's wild to me. They just go on these runs either side. They just immediately start scoring. It is too much hypercritical responding to your opponent, putting you behind by 1 or 2 goals. Gotta have your balanced attack. Uh-oh, what is going on? I'm getting sub. Remake. We're going to be remaking. We will be remaking this one.
We're good.
We will be remaking. I'm already out. I'm already remaking. So we'll be.
No.
It's okay.
He made it.
It's all right. We will be remaking. So we will be redoing. Apparently, Tsunami are going to be subbing.
Oh.
Yeah. So, interesting turn of events. Do you think it is the man that we think it would be?
I mean, I'm assuming Bayou's just coming in for jumper.
I mean, that's who I assume. If all my assumptions are what this is, and I'm glad
I'm gonna be honest. I'm not a fan of it.
Yeah.
I think I don't think you can pull someone mid-series and not kill your momentum. Even if you lose a game or whatever, like this is tough for even the other 2 players that are still in. Now have to relearn how they were playing with someone else, and it's just, you're just asking so much. And it turns out it's Iceborg that's getting subbed out and not Jumper.
Oh, okay. What does that do? What is gonna be the big play here that makes this effective and successful?
I mean, I don't know the thought process here, because if anything, Iceborg is really good at keeping the offensive pressure going. So when your offensive pressure wasn't going, I don't know how it's gonna work putting in someone else, but they're looking good so far, and just like that, a goal.
Yeah, this is the attack that maybe they were missing. Maybe the balance just wasn't there. Maybe it was communication breaking down. Maybe personality difference is gonna just be the key. Sometimes.
Yeah,
I mean, this is different. This is a new roster. In terms of what we've seen play before.
Yeah, and I don't know if we've seen these 3 play. I think they might have played one series with this 3 instead of Iceborg. I think it was against the Ninjas too. That Iceborg didn't play against them, if I remember right. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's to confuse the Pirates. Maybe it's a mentality thing. Who knows? If Tsunami makes grand finals, we can ask. You know, but got to get there first.
Yep. You know what? That's a key strat. I don't know who made the call, but we're gonna see how this plays out over the course of this game 5. They luckily do it when they are tied, and not as an emotional pick from when they're behind. And I think that's a good idea. So you're like, all right, this is even keel. We're maybe needing something different, something that our opponents haven't seen before. Got to go in there and see if it works.
And honestly, maybe they're taking a page out of last season with Avalanche. subbing in their fourth Icy all the time too, saying, hey, this squad works better. We're gonna play Icy against this team, and we're gonna play Hippopotamicorn on the other team. So like, I mean, maybe that's the strat that they're kind of going with.
Well, it's working because Rojas has been able to move downfield. He suddenly has two. Bayouj, you made the initial attack. Rojas with a late leap, and you get two Pirates coming out of the net. That clears things up for him to shoot.
Yeah, and honestly, maybe so far what I've seen with this squad, it kind of lets Rojas be that aggressor that they probably need him to be more consistently. Because I mean, we know Iceborg is going to turn on a lot of balls, and now Rojas is kind of freedom on the pitch because Bayouj is going to be there for a save or just to score the goals when he needs to be.
You're freeing Rojas. Free Rojas. Gotta
Free
get him
the
out.
Haas.
Free the Haas. He is the Haas. And this is a key call which could turn around this entire series. This is majestic. I like it. Pirates have been unable to find an answer for it. But this does lock in your Tsunami now for the remainder of this series. They are allowed to do one extra sub if they're able to qualify for the grand finals. Pirates, I don't know. I mean, Maldy's just going to get a freebie here. There's still a few issues. I believe it was Jumper that let this one in. Bit of a difficult situation.
Yeah, Jumper pushed out too much thinking that he was going to get it. And then, honestly, he jumped too soon to go for that ball, too. He could have used his boost to get back a little bit further, then jumped up to get that save. Just a little unfortunate push out right there. He thought he could come up and maybe 50 or something, realizing he's a third man. And Maldy just completely aware of that and takes a shot on that.
Rojas, big challenge. It's going to be Bayouj upfield. He's looking for the corner cut. He's actually going for the pass play instead. He may have been able to sneak that one in, but now Godzkilla has no boost. He's going to be looking into the corner. Rojas able to keep it close.
Double whiff.
Rojas is saying it's his bad, but he's actually the one that saved it. Rojas getting bumped around by Mr. P. And oh my goodness, could be a pass play to the Tsunami. And it comes out.
What a save!
Wow.
What a save there by Maldy, just rushing in right there and just saving P from getting dunked on right on top of his head.
Man, that was a difficult situation. Oh, and another key miss, but Maldy, the man's had to stand up. Bayouj is going to call up Rojas. Free Rojas. Get him all over the field. What this has definitely done, and even though Iceborg, he's ball chasey, he's efficient, he's able to put on the attack, but this has balanced out the field and populating it more. But Maldy is seeing that now, and as things are starting to slow down, he's going to take more chances.
Yeah, and Bayouj and Jumper being in that same spot, Bayouj trusted Jumper to get a touch there, Jumper whiffs, and that's just an open net for Maldy. Gets a very fortunate double there. He just puts his car in the right spot just in case he has to double, but I'm 100% positive he was going for the shot on the initial touch. But, I mean, you're kind of freeing Maldy up too without having Iceborg coming around bumping, stealing your boost, and, you know, turning on every ball too. So that's a double-edged sword.
Yep. Maldy was definitely having to go tit for tat with Iceborg to shut him down because he realized that even though Iceborg may take up extra offensive opportunities away from the Tsunami, there was constant Iceborg in your face, but there was too many defensive mistakes being made. This is the moment when you have to make that call. Rojas looking for a big clear. It's going to go up, down, and Bayouj will be there to clean it up, maybe give Rojas a second chance. What a beat. Less than a minute left. The Pirates almost coming back. After a 3-0 run, they have skidded to a halt. They've gotten two back. They have to get one, but the Tsunami currently have the pressure.
And see, like even Rojas turning right there to go for that touch, he was never doing that earlier. So this really is freeing up Rojas to be as aggressive as he pleases. And as long as Bayouj and, you know, Jumper are playing around that and being okay, and if they play third man instead of just committing out too much, they'll be fine. But Rojas committing on the wall right there, I think third man got demoed.
Yeah.
And just, again, open net. Like, it's kind of unfortunate. They're letting the Pirates come back in this game.
It has been a grind for the Pirates, where they were able to just completely surprise the Pirates. The Tsunami going that 3-0 up. it has been a Pirate team that is willing to grind out the return. Looking for a counterplay. Maldy's gonna bury this one. He's gonna burn some time off the clock, so the final possession will have very little left, and that will go in favor of the Pirates. One more chance, it'll touch ground. This will be a neutral kickoff as they just go straight ahead.
Yeah, and you gotta feel like this game is the balance tipper here. I mean, what is this? This is game 5. This pushes you just one more win to going into the grand finals. This has gotta be that. This is a must win for both teams here.
Ooh, Maldy, he has come out as a big part and a huge reason why this Pirates team is successful. Underneath him, though, Godzkilla is gonna have to stay on the back line. Godzkilla looking for the repeat championship from season 6 to this season 7. Rojas trying to come in as the energy and performer that they need. Jumper from the midfield. He's going to get there after Godzkilla, which will actually give him a chance. Bayou's looking for the read. Rojas hanging out at the midfield, trapping into the near side corner. Rojas have to let Godzkilla go overhead, but they're starting to sneak out these Pirate players from the post.
Yeah, and Tsunami's keeping up this offensive pressure right now and everything, but at what point are they gonna start throwing shots on net or anything kind of really threatening?
Jumper denying Maldy because Maldy had that read dead to rights. Godzkilla sweeping this one away from a would-be Rojas. Oh, and Bayou's a little bit too soon on his approach. Godzkilla trying to disrupt it. Mr. P looking for a flick. It's more of a tumble. Why not? So that's what you practice first. Jumper is going to have to head straight on with Godzkilla. Gets rid of Bayou. Rojas able to deflect against Mr. P. Looking for the counterplay. It's shut down by Maldy. Bayou from the midfield. He's going to go for everything. Big block. It's coming lateral. Jumper. He'll overcommit. It is Bayou versus Godzkilla. He gets it beyond him. And the pressure now goes back to the Tsunami after the Pirates had a long stay on offense.
Yeah, I mean, Tsunami's kind of throwing up shots and throwing the ball back in the corner for them and everything, but nothing really threatening. Not really making the Pirates have to save much right now, but Pirates have got to be really uncomfortable with all this pressure that Tsunami's throwing on right now.
Pirates trying to alleviate a little bit of it. Jumper, a long float, and apparently a little bit of lag from our man Nugs. We'll see if you'll be able to come back to us or if we have to reset the server. Bayou, 50-50. He takes out Mr. P. Maldy puts it to the opposite end, trying to go for a bump on a Godzkilla. It's a lateral. Jumper, not overcommitting, but he is over encroaching on that midfield line. He'll be there to challenge against Mr. P himself. Double commit Rojas, same zone. Maldy going to the back corner again. And this is sweat time. Game 5, series point on the line. To have that advantage on your back pocket is a big, big deal. Jumper, oh man, what a clear to give his team a time to reset. But the Pirates all over each other.
I think I'm back. Am I back?
You're back. Look at him. Oh man, welcome back.
This is what you do. This is what happens when I gotta do 2 best sets.
Only so much internet to use.
Yeah. I'm running off the data.
Oh no, the hotspot.
My bill's gonna go up. I'm running out of time.
Mr. P with a bump on a Bayou. Shot coming on from Maldy. Rojas though, was a little bit short as it went to the exterior side of the post. They are jousting. We're at 3.5 minutes and more. Pirates looking to score. They're upfield. They want more. Rojas, he's giving it away to Maldy. It becomes neutral. Drops off. Godzkilla, Mr. P with a pre-jump. Oh man, one of these teams. It's gonna be the final mistake. Maldy, a little bit of a chip shot. Man, this is just a bend don't break for either squad. Uh-oh.
Oh shoot. I really thought that was gonna be a more threatening shot.
Not a lot of lethality, but everyone's starting to clamber together for the Tsunami. They're becoming trapped. They're low on boost. You see Jumper just trying to flip just to get to the near side or backside post. Maldy gonna try and take him on. Forces it all the way in reverse. Rojas going as fast as his little wheels can spin. Bayou's maybe with a breakaway. He, instead of going for the possession, chases down the man trying to get the bump.
Yeah, and I mean you can feel it with how long this overtime is going and everything. Jeez, that This is really like the do or die game for both teams here. They both desperately need it and desperately want this game. It's almost like a game 7 already set up here, but I mean, it's just kind of waiting on one team to make a mistake, and right there is the mistake that we were talking about.
Oh, Mr. P was able to take this touch for so long, make them look up. Jumper had to go, and Maldy had nothing but an open net and a falling man to score on. The Pirates are on series points to be able to go into game number 6 and maybe take it all.
Yeah, and I mean, Jumper was in net for that shot, but he might as well not have been. He jumped up for the first shot, then just jumped up again, and was just like he didn't really put himself threatening or even a chance to really save it by just pressing AA over and over again when he could have just waited on the ball and been able to challenge it after the first miss from P. But unfortunate error right there, and Pirates walk away with this game, and Maldy with the big boy carry. 1,056 points, 3 goals, 6 saves, 7 shots, and not to barely outdoing Rojas with the 904 score too. I mean, you can tell who the best players are. I mean, for each team, like, and I'm not trying to be mean saying that. It's true.
You know, shooters got to shoot. Your big boys got to score. And now we're gonna be getting onto the field for a game number 6. Pirates, are they gonna do what the Drakes did yesterday? Lose their semifinal, sweep in the lower semifinal, and this hasn't exactly been a sweep, but are they gonna be able to take down their opponent and then go get maybe a little bit of vengeance on the Ninjas? Just a little bit. And rest in the back of their minds.
Either way of this series, how this goes down, Ninjas are playing someone that they already played against. So it's gonna be interesting to see if those teams are really trying to change their gameplay, or if they're just gonna try to stick to how they play best and see if what works against the Ninjas.
Dude, Tsunami have no boost. No one has any boost. Oh, and then a huge miss, Mr. P going for the home run, but he was in the outfield a little bit too far away, and then completely losing track of where he was supposed to go. Bayoush with a beat, and the Pirates have assumed a position and a posture of pressure against the Tsunami, finally getting it clear, but this could be very brief.
Yeah, and I'm really looking for Tsunami other than Rojas to like actually start doing something offensively or defensively, just some kind of step up. And I say that, and Rojas kind of just whiffing that right there. And I mean, kind of rotated in too close and just let that ball be an open net for Mr. P.
He went for the power slide, face to the near side post, but it was already dinked. And so there was no way he was going to be able to turn back. And so you got Mr. P, playoff P, looking for a championship that he can be proud of, trying to be Mr. 4-time. Rojas can take this frontside corner boost, and it's going to be a challenge by Mr. P. Bayou's running away. Huge clear. He'll go about halfway to the mark over the midfield line. Mr. P, they're just consistently able to dish out and alleviate a lot of this forthcoming progress by the Tsunami, and then just make these micro touches to allow them to stay. My God!
Come on.
It would have been an amazing shot or a great pass. The Tsunami still on the attack, trying to jump onto the backboard. Oh, you want the magic to happen. I want to see a game 7, I'll be honest.
That's kind of the story for Tsunami, that right there. They're doing all the things right, possession-wise and even passing-wise, but no one's there to score. Just not even to hit the ball. Like, just they're setting themselves up for success, but the second or third man is not helping at all consistently.
Huge clear, big save. This is the putback. It'll go up. The attacker already coming down. Maldy's got the score. And past halftime of game number 6, they're up 2.
Yeah, and you got it. Like how I said last game was kind of that game where it was a big decider. I think we're kind of seeing Pirates feel themselves now, and they're like, all right, we got this. Keep this pressure up. And Tsunami's You know, that's slowly got to be creeping in the back of your mind. You're down 2-0. There's still 2.5 minutes left, but I mean, you're thinking this is it. I mean,
Ayush looking for a breakaway. The Tsunami have to be able to regain. They've made a big change in their roster. They thought Bayoush would be the difference maker. They did it in a single game. The most recent did not turn out well, and this one is slowly turning into the same result. Rojas, he came into this weekend wanting to be the difference maker. He's so far been able to lead this Tsunami trio as best as he can. But playoff P just got a little challenge in his face by a jump shot dunk by Jumper. Tsunami within one, just more than a minute and a half left.
yeah, and just Jumper just all over that. Just read it before even P was going for the touch and puts it straight into the net. I mean, come on, Coach P, you got to see that.
Gotta have eyes all over that visor. Godzkilla, he's gonna put this lateral. What a shutdown by Bayoush and a murder by Rojas. This one still buries it in their back corner. They've baited Godzkilla up. There should be boost for him to get. He does so. Rojas, again, mantle of responsibility resting very firmly, very heavily on his shoulders. What a kill onto Bayoush. They're trying to loosen up, thin out this would-be counterattack. Maldy has a chance. Oh my goodness. Jumper will be able to get there in time. This is a Tsunami squad in 1 minute could be eliminated from season 7, and they have to find a chance here. They have to start throwing even more risks.
Yeah, Tsunami's really got to start throwing the house. I need rotations like at the midfield, kind of like how you play when Iceberg plays. And what a big demo there by Jumper!
Bayoush able to get this score, but Jumper, he sought out the man, he headhunted, and it was an own goal.
Oh man, big demo by Jumper. Jumper has showed up this game 6 when his team needed him. He's gotten both goals for them so far with a little help from Godzkilla there, which is a little upsetting if you're him, but still need one more and don't break before it's over with.
You gotta play for every single second. Tsunami playing for a game 7 if they can get there. Maldy been MVP so far. Bayou's the man they traded for. He's gonna get thrown away. This will come lateral. Jumper, big lateral over to Bayoush. He's gonna actually escape. Jumper trying to put these shots on. It's gonna go backboard. Dropped off by Maldy. Rojas upfield. Will we approach OT? Will this end in regulation? Will the Tsunami be able to survive one more time to go see their rivals in the Ninjas?
Ooh.
Oh, a chance we'll never get to see come about, but overtime anyway. Opening seconds. This is where it could end.
Oh man, oh no, and Mr. P, Clutch P shows up for the Pirates. You think it's impossible for him to be a 4-time champion, and he shows up for his squad.
Wow.
And honestly, Mr. P was this big X factor for this series for me. I mean, he consistently showed up, and don't get me wrong, his team played well, but Mr. P just with the right touches and the goals when it was needed, man.
You can't stop the playoff P. Once a playoff P gets big, oh boy, it's gonna stay big. Maybe 4 hours or more. You never know. But the Tsunami, they threw away quite a few different opportunities to be able to advance. Game number 7 was rough in the upper final. Game number 6 is the one that will put them on ice. This is a group that has performed, but they just weren't able to bounce back. And you now have the Pirates trying to have some repeats and trying to get Mr. P, the 4-time, a chance to be a starter on the team that could win and take down the Ninjas. Whew. This is a wild and wacky one. I don't know how the music.
We got two storylines here going into the finals. You got Green making it back to the finals again, and is it his time? Is it his time to win? Him and Chill and Gabe. I mean, they're playing well. They're playing differently. Like, it's just kind of a different play style. And then you got Playoff P and Godzkilla going for the back-to-back. You're gonna have either a back-to-back to back and a back on the same team. So I mean, I don't know. It's hard to pick a team to root for.
Well, you guys are gonna get plenty of time to figure it out. We're gonna have a few minutes before we set up this grand final. Can the Pirates ride this wave, or will the Ninjas be able to shut it down? It's a tale as old as time. Ninjas versus Pirates in our grand finale for the Vanguard League Playoff Championship. We'll be right back.